Keep firing, a-holes! Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. Today we're going to talk about the 5v5 best offense teams and defense teams in a different video. They'll be released at the same time, but the new 5v5 season is here. We got a plan, and I realize that this account is significantly bigger than a lot of people who are going to watch it, and I will just say I think this is a good video to be able to help you plan and everything. I'll also have my alternate account video, which is still like 8 million GP, so still kind of endgame, but without all the GLs. It only has 2 Galactic Legends, and I still do really well in it, so I'll be releasing that one tomorrow. And I just want to make videos to help people plan, I guess. I can't show you guys the best team comps when you're 2 million, but hopefully this will give you some ideas on what to build for at the very least. I get that complaint quite a bit, and I get it. This account especially has basically everything, if not as high of relics as my opponents in GAC, and yeah, I hope this still can help a little bit. That being said, let's jump to the game. Let's talk about these teams. Best on offense. In the video description, there's one for best on defense. Remember to hit that thumbs up button while we're transitioning over to the game. Whoa, we're in the game. How'd we get in the game? This is madness. Whoa. It never gets old. Or if it does, I just ignore people who say it. Alright guys, here is the thing. The little triangle, or they aren't triangles guys, they kind of start looking like triangles kind of. The diamonds show that they're characters that we use twice. We double dip because I want to be able to use a Night Sisters team on offense sometimes when I'm not using them with Kylo, and vice versa. Use Kylo with First Order. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can also have like a team with Hux if that happens, but I mean, obviously I don't even have a Hux team listed here. That being said, folks, so we're going through all the different GLs, and I don't know if you really want to take the full Night Sister squad with Supreme Leader Kylo. It's not going to work against like Lord Vader, most likely. You probably need, with this iteration of Lord Vader especially, is going to be really messy. Even with your fancy set 5 Datacrons, it just doesn't work. The set 5 Datacrons don't work if they have a bunch of dodge, and I realize that's only relevant for like the top 300 people or something like that. Like not very many people have to face consistent level 9 Datacrons that also have 100 dodge on them. It's a consistent thing for me, but it's not necessarily for you. So set 5 works otherwise. If you use set 5, then you probably do want to use the First Order team. Otherwise, this Kylo team can beat a lot of different squads. If you have the good Datacrons for Supreme Leader Kylo, and you can probably, I've heard people tell me that you can use Kylo with Night Sisters to beat Jabba. I'm not convinced of that, actually. I think if you want to do that, you can do Hux, so you can at least restrict their turn meter gains and stuff, but one way or another, this team is going to be able to take down a lot of squads like Darth Malgus, teams that are kind of like A- level, or just A, straight up A level, but, not like the most powerful GLs. And, you can just take Daka and Zombie. You could also mix and match and put, Watt in here. You could put a lot of different teams. Kylo's in kind of an awkward place because of his Datacrons. I'm really interested to see what happens this time, this season. I think that set 5 is going to kind of bloom once set 4 is gone, unfortunately. So that being said, like, these two teams are pretty good on offense. You take out a lot of different GLs, and it's a good time, folks. My Kylo team is probably going to take a Kylo team to take out Lord Vader, at least the ads for them. That being said, we also have a Phasma team, which is interesting. I don't know if this is the very best comp. You guys will have to watch me. We're going to find a bunch of different iterations. But, I have the Omicron on her, of course. That doesn't do anything in GAC. But in Territory Wars, the problem is I just can't get the Datacron that gets turn meter on level 3. Like, I've re-rolled it like 5 times on this Cron, and it just doesn't work. So, that being said, you can kind of create an endless-ish loop, an endlish loop with Phasma and OG Kylo. And then with Red Trooper assisting, like this team can delete a lot of teams, not to mention with the First Order TIE Pilot giving a bunch of turn meter, or at least speed, to everyone, and foresight and everything. Like this team is going to be decent on offense, I think. I don't know how good on banners. Like you could have some regeneration potential with First Order TIE Pilot, but it's not going to be too crazy. So I don't know. I'm a little sketchy on if this team's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be good on defense, though. Maybe. I mean, we'll just have to see, folks. We will have to see how it all plays out. Obviously, I think. I mean, this team will beat a lot of mid-range teams, I guess. I would rather have Hux on it, frankly. If I could replace this First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot with Hux, I would do that instantly. And then you'll really be able to take down a lot of teams. A lot of teams. Probably not Galactic Legends, but otherwise, the teams that don't get a word in edgewise. You could probably like delete a Traya squad, but they'll probably delete all of your health and protection in the process, just because of the turn meter train. I'm very interested to see what we're going to use Phasma, guys. If I seem like I'm being vague, it's kind of almost intentional, or more like I just don't know exactly what we're going to do with her. I don't have a specific plan. All I know is that I want her on offense initially, and I want her to be able to mix and match First Order characters with Supreme Leader Kylo. We're just going to have to take the lay of the land and see how it goes. And if you don't have the cool Datacron of Phasmas, then probably just leave this alone, actually. Alright, Sith Eternal is another one that I really enjoyed. So you could take Sunfac here. I regret putting Sunfac here in the photo. We can use Sunfac because Sunfac does go well with Brood Alpha, and they both go well with Sith Eternal. You can also, I think I have space available for Sith Empire Trooper, which is really nice. Nice to have a Sith with Sith Empire Emperor, just because everyone's going to die on the Sith Eternal squad eventually. That's just what happens. He just is he's a very difficult man to work with, and he just lets people die quite a bit. And the nice thing about having a Sith here instead of Sunfac, like the dark side tank is nice, like I said, but having a Sith in here die kind of toward the end of all the other characters dying means they're going to refresh Sith Emperor's health and protection, get rid of all the debuffs and everything, and that is actually a fairly important trait. You have the armor and Thrawn here, and the idea here is, of course, to be able to take down Kenobi squads. And so the armor I have at 321 speed. And then you'll note, so the armor doesn't gain speed from Sith Eternal, but Thrawn does. So he's at 300 speed. He gains 20 speed, so he's at exactly 320 speed under this. And so what happens is you want to get that third stack of Beskar. You want the armor to be fast enough to not get lapped by a team like, probably you're not going to be taking down Lord Vader, but if you were, you could do that with armor, but probably more like Jedi Master Kenobi or something, and she's going to armor shred someone, and then Thrawn's going to take a turn immediately after, hand the turn back to armor, and then she can put the 3 stacks of Beskar on Sith Eternal, and then Sith Eternal's like, I don't care if you guys die, because I am not going to die. Not on my watch. Which is funny, because it doesn't even look like he wears a watch, actually. I feel like he keeps it in his backpack, probably, if I had to guess. But that's a mystery we might solve this season, guys. Where does he keep his watch? Why does he talk like that? Why am I telling you guys that he talks like that? That's an even deeper mystery. We have Jedi Master Luke here, and this is kind of like, I don't know if this is the very best version of him. I mean, it's not. The best version is going to be with Jedi Revan and Jedi Luke, probably Hermit Yoda, etc. I do like having these two teams to be able to mix and match on offense, though most of my other Jedi are going to be on defense, just because of the way I have structured my defenses. And I do like being able to mix and match, though, because sometimes you need Jedi Master Luke to take out something really strong, like a really good Rey team, a really good Kenobi team, and you need to be able to mix and match. That being said, well, and I don't know if it works against a Set 5 Supreme Leader Kylo, but this Jedi Revan, Jedi Luke team, of course, has for several years at this point been able to take down a Supreme Leader Kylo squad, and they're even better at it now because Luke is even stronger against Galactic Legends. Jedi Master Luke is going to be able to take down most of the Rey teams with this configuration, though. With some of the weird, like, I've seen a lot of squads where people are doing like Rey with Dash and Ben and Cat and you know, L3, all the different things that just buff each other, and it's obnoxious. I don't know if I'd use Jedi Master Luke against that abomination. Anyways, we'd probably just use Sith Eternal to kill most of it, and then maybe Jedi Master Luke to clean it up, one way or another. These two guys can kind of back each other up. Jedi Knight Rev and Jedi Luke are really good at just taking out any non-GL squads as well. Pretty nice stuff. Grand Inquisitor, we have one more season of pretty crazy dominance with these guys. If you have the Datacron that gives them bonus turn meter every time a debuff expires, or a buff expires. There's a debuff. It's probably debuff. These guys do so many debuffs, though. The whole team just gets crazy turn meter gains, and so I'm interested to see how it's going to go against Jabba teams. I think with Jabba and his Datacrons, this team is probably not going to solo any Jabba squads. However, it's probably going to kill all the ads, in which case we can use like troopers to clean it up, something like that, and you know, double tap. You'll note that I have a lot of GLs on defense, a lot of good teams on defense, because a lot of my strategy is kind of hinged around the idea of multi-shotting some of the tougher Galactic Legends that we're going to see on defense. Now, we have this version of the Bounty Hunter team. Maybe I shouldn't even show you guys this one, frankly. I should probably show you like the one with Aura Singh, honestly, and Zam. That's probably a more approachable one, and frankly, I don't know why I don't have Zam here, except I like the idea of Fennec just hanging out without an extra slot because she gains extra offense if she does. This squad is great for finishing off Lord Vader, frankly, and that's really... I wouldn't take Zam to do that. I would leave it at these four. And, you know, you could put Bam here if you wanted. He's kind of past his prime in terms of trying to do stuff like that, but he can kind of help a little bit here and there. Here's an Adrad team, and last season I transitioned from using him on defense to... because everyone just kills him. I put him on offense, though, and sometimes he didn't do anything, and sometimes he just myrtleated an Empire squad. He is just custom built to beat teams with Empire. Remember, if it's like a Starkiller team with some Empire, it's not necessarily the same thing, because he doesn't do the auto daze to that squad, because Starkiller teams are immune to daze. However, this team is going to be taking out a lot of different Empire squads, like Iden squads, for instance. It can get a little bit ugly. I don't know what exactly it's going to look like when we face her. I've done it a couple times, but it just always seems so chaotic, and then suddenly they don't have a team, you know? And I'm like, oh, I revived everyone. That was fancy. This is probably the best version of the Adrad team, by the way, folks. I know it sucks because you only have to farm 2 of them to get Adrad, and I'm not saying you have to do this. I will just say, like, I know that Relic 8 Cassian, just try to think of him like you do Dooku, you know? Like, you have a Relic 8 Dooku because of Sith Eternal requirements. Backpack Emperor required him for some reason, and now Dooku just hangs out on the bench forever and ever, and it's sad, of course, but we don't really regret him anymore. And similarly, Cassian is just going to have to be, at least he's a pilot. Dooku's not a pilot, so yeah, this is the best squad. And if you don't want to do that, if you want to just use your requirements, you can. Just realize it's not nearly as strong. Double tank with this squad is very good. And then Baze and Churret just have a really good tandem. I'm not saying the team is unbeatable, especially on defense, but this is the best version. Alright, so we have the Darth Vader team, and then we can kind of use that in conjunction with, I don't know why I clicked on Stark. Get back in your stupid walker, Colonel Stark. Why are you a colonel but have no leadership? What's the deal with that? Could you please expound? Now, Darth Vader with Watt is gonna kill a lot of stuff. In 5v5, it's like sometimes Vader just takes him out himself if he has the Datacrons, of course, the stupid Datacrons. But then you can also mix and match. You can put Admiral Piet with Darth Vader. You can put like Tarkin with him. You can do all sorts of things, and you know, you can take out a few different Galactic Legends that way. I really like Darth Vader with Watt here, and just those two against a lot of the current Rey builds that are out there. So, you know, Watt's gonna be able to give Darth Vader a little extra turn meter and everything with the weapons tech, and then Vader can actually just take out most Rey teams, even with Ben. The one you got to look out for, of course, is the one with, what's his name on it? Dash. Dash will probably run roughshod over poor Vader if that happens. But otherwise, I mean, this team does a fair amount of damage to most teams. Like in 3v3, sometimes I found myself not even using Darth Vader on offense. In 5v5, he is an offensive juggernaut. He does some crazy things, and I'm looking forward to using him for one last season, frankly. So otherwise, if that doesn't work, I think troopers, honestly, this season are going to be mostly relegated to cleanup duty, or if you don't need to clean up anything because your opponent they chickened out and kept everything for offense, they're going to be able to kill, well, you know, any teams that are within their range. I do have Piet and Iden's speed mods swapped right now because they have an off chance of being able to one-shot Lord Vader teams. So he's at 318. I do have a Grit Cron, so Grit Cron is going to give us another 10% turn meter, and then we can also get 20% more turn meter if we add Watt to the team as well, which is another reason why we want this tandem. And you guys will have to just go and watch some of my videos from 5v5 last season, especially on my alt. I did it all the frickin' time. One shot their Lord Vader squads. And so Iden, though, to be able to do that, we can't go into too much depth, but she's at 329, which is a 174 set. This is not my fastest speed set, but it's one of my very fastest. 329 is a little bit dumb, I recognize, but 329 plus a bunch of bonus turn meter and everything, her team's going to go first. I mean, she's always going to go first anyways, but when you have to combine the normal troopers team with Iden and then throw in Watt, it gets a little bit weird. And just suffice it to say that Iden needs to be faster than Piet. She needs to be able to cleanse those debuffs from Lord Vader. Now, we have General Grievous who still takes out the same range of things. He just keeps expanding his role, though, as new teams keep dropping. And, I mean, he's just so versatile, guys. The only problem with it is I continuously like having BB-8 with Sortie on defense, which means that Newt is the replacement, and being able to kill certain Starkiller teams is less and less possible. People are getting more and more creative with Starkiller teams as well, I should also say. A lot of people are keeping a Starkiller for offense. Wampa kills stuff. He's very good. We have Bando and team, and you just want characters with AoEs. This Bando team so keeping him for offense, remember, he doesn't have his cool Datacron. The team is still good, though a lot of people don't know what to do with them. They're going to be throwing him on defense again, just throwing him with like random Maul teams or whatever. I like this team on offense because sometimes, especially now that there's some builds that also just discourage Wampa from killing him at all with Iden, but also the Grit Cron builds with Wampa and stuff, like it gets more and more difficult to be able to take out Iden with Wampa, is all I'm saying. Sometimes it just doesn't work, but this Bando team still persists pretty well. Cara Dune can just kind of spam her AoE and stun all of them. It's just an instant stun for all Imperials, and You have the pre-taunt with IG, you have the AoE from between Cara Dune and Bo-Katan, and then if you have a fast Queel, it works pretty well as well. It's just a very good team, guys. IG-11 is cleansing all of them. Bo-Katan is a scoundrel, remember. That's Scalawag. And then we have, let's see, Mon Mothma. I don't know. So one of the things, I put these teams together because Cara Dune normally goes with Mon Mothma, right? She's a shoo-in. I really do like, back when I was testing the Mon Mothma team to be able to counter General Grievous, which was something I used to love to do because everyone would place General Grievous on defense, and it would be nice to get a free, easy, low-stress kill. I used to use Bistan instead of Cara Dune, I think. Or no, it was before Kyle Katarn came around. Kyle Katarn kind of messes up the speed, but Bistan is really nice to be able to remove turn meter. He gets a lot of turns. Just remember, when he uses his frenzy move, don't put him in a situation where that frenzy gets dispelled really easily. Remember, you don't have a tank on this team. You get a crazy amount of turn meter, actually. Like this team is even better than with Cara Dune, for turn meter at least, but it's a little bit vulnerable. It's kind of fun. If you want to use Cara with BAM, that's fine. I'm just showing you an alternative route for the Mon Mothma team to go. I think in general, they're going to be better with Cara. Okay, so we've got a few other last-minute teams. We've got Traya. She just kills all the things. Like Inquisition is a good one. Yeah, okay, so I have Sith Empire Trooper here. You can mix and match. You could take Thrawn on the team. I mean, she should probably be up with Sith Eternal, to be honest, kind of making decisions based on your roster. Really, the trio is enough a lot of times. You can just take those three, and then you can mitigate your banner loss by, for the loss protection by not having other members there. Just make sure you have a lot of relics on them, and you should be good. Bad Batch. I mean, you guys know they take down a lot of really good teams, including that really nasty Qui-Gon team. One of the things to keep in mind is you want a really fast Echo. This isn't my fastest speed set, again, but it's one of my faster ones. And 368, you just have to be able to outspeed the majority of that Qui-Gon team, and you should be good to go. That's why you have to make the Qui-Gon team so ruinously fast for defense, because you have to outrun Echo. And if you can, then you're good, and if you can't, then as logic would dictate, you're not good. Alright, Kira Nest with the Gritcron, no problem on offense, guys. Automatic against teams like Shorty, or Sorty, whatever her name is. Really good to take out some things. Otherwise, I mean, you can put her on defense. She does some okay stuff on defense too, as I'm sure you're all well acquainted. We have the Akbar team here. Probably need to do a little bit of math to see who the weakest is, because Princess Leia, I like it when she assists, and Stormtrooper Han. Chopper's here just for the dispel, for debuffs, and so is Ezra. Ezra takes a lot of turns under this squad, though, if he's the weakest. So, there's some benefit. The Talzin squad with Night Sisters, I really like the Omicron on Asajj. At some point, maybe if I'm losing a bunch, I'll try. But I would like to try Night Sisters against a CLS team again. I used to do that quite a bit, and now I don't do it as much because Datacrons have messed with things. But with this Omicron, I feel like there's more parity and it should work. It shouldn't be just a parody of a fight. Now, the Jawas, I put the full Jawa team. Usually you want to put some kind of leader that has good defensive stats, like Stormtrooper Han or Barriss, someone like that. And if you do that, then you can just delete Dathcha, because Jawa is an unlock requirement anyway, so it was just a tiebreaker between Jawa and Dathcha in the first place. And as long as people are hitting your team and if they're consistently assisting against your team, then their whole team will explode with thermals eventually, if you can actually consistently make them survive. So you need relics. It's not a team I'd recommend most people work on, but it takes down like Maul teams, or maybe Imperial Troopers if you can survive for long enough. You can probably take down Geonosian teams or Mon Mothma teams. Lots of different squads that have a lot of assists. Finally, we have the Ewok team. It's a cautionary tale, folks. Don't do much with them. I think they're okay. if you're going to use them, either use them, so early game, they're actually great. Even at purple, they're wonderful. Don't put their Omicron on, please, even though most people will disregard that and do exactly that thing. But they get a lot of holds early game, like all the way through Erodium, you probably do just fine. Just keep in mind that as you continue to progress through Kyber, you are going to need more and more relics and speed mods on this team. Also remember to make Peplu fast. If you haven't heard my thing about Peplu, I'm not going to tell you right now because it's time to end the video, but he does have a really nice boost to his speed just from his kit. So like he's actually the fastest on his team and is the one that gets the turn meter right train started. I mean, and I guess I say that, you know, I'm like, man, you can't use this team on defense. Like, don't put it on defense. Use it on offense for the most part. You can use it to clean up General Grievous, for instance. You can use it for a few different things, but mostly you can use it to refer to when... refer to... oh, I made myself sad. You can use it to refer to when you're like, oh yeah, I have bad teams too. I'm pretty cool like that. Otherwise, like I guess you could take down some First Order. I don't know, they do some weird stuff. That being said, folks, this video's lasted a little longer than preferred, so I'm gonna let you go here. Don't miss my defensive team comps video where we talk about Savage and other awesome hardcore a-holes. And let's jump to it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xeris prevails.